Hi, and welcome to the Practical Ascension podcast. I'm Tracy Goody, your Practical Ascension guide. Today we are looking at 3 ways to align to your soul truth in daily life. Now, the topic of soul truth has been coming to the surface lately as a message to get out and incorporate into my work. And at first I was kind of like, okay, well, what do you mean by soul truth? This feels like it's kind of been done, but they're deepening it. They're really asking me to anchor in to look at what soul truth really is, what living from that soul presence really is. So today I'm going to look exactly at what soul truth is, why you want to connect to it, and 3 ways to connect to your soul truth in everyday life. And I just want to mention that I did a previous podcast as well, which is a guided journey to help you connect into your soul truth as well. So definitely check that out if you're resonating with this. So as always, my intention is to bring the spiritual ascension energies into daily life, to make them kind of casual and a very normal part of our existence as humans. So that's that ascension energy, right? So in this way, we are embodying the divine human, and we are eradicating these old densities, these old programs and ways of being. So we're anchoring into these 5th dimensional frequencies, and we live our purpose and mission, and we're tipping the scales of ascension energies, and we're benefiting the collective of humanity. So this energy that you're working with, connecting into your soul truth, having that intention to do it, actually taking action on it, being who you really are, this really helps things on a collective level to rearrange and harmonize so that more of that solution energy comes to the surface. So it's not just helping your life. It's beyond your own personal journey and soul work. The more we're anchoring these energies by living and feeling them, the more the collective benefits and other solutions can come out, and other people are feeling more connected to their soul truth as well. So there's no doubt that this is a time of transformation in this world. And before we experience that harmonized ascension living, there's going to be a time of chaos. And obviously we're in it right now, for things to kind of break down before the breakthrough. And this means that for us as light workers and change makers, we have this delicate job of witnessing the chaos, yet not getting pulled into the drama and adding to the fear of old programs. And I had to laugh as I was talking about this live on Insight Timer a few days ago, and it was such chaos here as I was delivering this talk, and my power went out, and there was like construction going on right outside, and my dog was freaking out, and it was literally chaos going on here, and I was still just feeling the energy, delivering it. The chaos did not bother me, and it just kind of like it went anyway. So it's just hilarious how you will see when you're working with this energy, you're going to see a reflection of it in your 3D reality and an opportunity to practice this. So it's all about, when you have that strong soul truth connection, the chaos that's going on around you is just like, oh yeah, look at that chaos. Like, it's not like, oh no, look at this chaos. Like it's a totally different frequency. So when we connect to our soul truth, we reclaim our divine connection. And I mean, anyone listening to this podcast has already begun or really developed a mastery of reclaiming their divine connection, but we're really reigniting our power, and we're gaining a higher perspective and frequency so that, energetically speaking, we can be the change. We also empower ourselves to live life to the fullest, to really embrace who we really are, and keep traveling with that, right? Keep going up the stairs of it, keep leveling up on it, and to rise above our fears and hesitations, and just kind of keep asking, what's next? How much better can it get? What more can I embody here? And just kind of keep asking those questions and progressing, and releasing those old hesitations and fears that are part of the old program. And again, it's a progression. It's not like, yeah, there's leaps in it, but it's not just like a leap and ascension and boom, here we are. It's a progression. So each of us has a really unique soul frequency and soul truth, and we incarnated here to have this unique experience, and that experience is driven by our perspective. Now, our perspective is such a powerful ally in awakening, and it can also be our biggest shadow and challenge. So as we connect to our soul truth, we recalibrate into our highest available perception. So we reunite with the divinity within us from kind of that vision point of view, from that perspective point of view. And then when we can bring that into our daily lives, and we bring our soul truth into our daily lives, we're experiencing the perspective, and our reality is going to reflect back to us that magical, divine, empowered frequency that's within us. Perspective is reality. Now, because your soul experience, your soul truth, your soul perspective, and reality is individual, nobody can tell you what that is. Like, you can get pointed in the right direction. You can get clues and puzzle pieces. So maybe you're getting like an intuitive reading, or working with a healer, or working with oracle cards, or any manner of thing, looking for signs, seeing animal guides. All of that stuff can point you in the right direction, can give you a clue, but ultimately only you can experience your soul truth and the transformation that it brings into your life, because it's so uniquely you. When you connect to your soul truth, you're taking so much pressure off of your human self. You're allowing those wounded aspects of your ego to take a rest and take a back seat. And you're stepping into your divine ego, the individual that's connected to all that is, and yet is having a unique individual experience. So this isn't about, disintegrating and letting go of the ego. This is recognizing that the ego, that's the individual part of yourself. That is the aspect of source that was like, okay, I want to have this individual experience. And so the ego is important, but it's the distorted ego. It's the wounded ego that kind of trips us up, right? And that comes from all of this past programming, all of this collective programming. So we're moving into a time now of the divine ego, where we recognize the beauty, the magic, and the divinity in our uniqueness. And this is really the true co-creation in this age of transformation, when we're working with that divine ego. And connecting to your soul truth helps you connect into your divine ego and helps you to soothe your wounded ego. So your ego doesn't go away, because it's very important to who you are. But that ego operates from the divine connection, not the wounded story. And when this happens, the ego lets go of those old stories and habits of putting the pressure on herself to figure it all out and get it all done. And instead, she co-creates more fully and completely. So this really allows, on a practical level, a greater sense of ease, trust, and harmony in your mental, physical, and emotional bodies. When you connect to your soul self, you anchor into peace and joy of being who you really are. And I mean, everybody has experienced at least little pieces of this. There is no other experience or energy that's going to touch this in terms of transformation. When you are matched with who you really are on a soul level, it feels outstanding, absolutely amazing. So that's the flow state. That's the knowing that, doesn't matter what you're doing or what you're being, or if you're doing nothing, you are the embodiment of the divine. You are you. It's like that authenticity, that word kind of gets a little bit overused, but that is truth. It's you're in integrity with who you really are. You're empowered, you're secure, you are supported, and you're pure magic. So this is your soul truth. And it's just a matter of allowing and choosing to tap into the frequency that you already are. And when you connect to your soul truth, you're naturally going to be dissolving illusions and programs that keep you feeling stuck or less than. And you can more clearly see the truth of situations and honor your role, as well as everybody else's role in this schoolroom earth, because everybody is playing a role on earth. And connecting to your soul truth it's really a practice, right? It's not like you leap and you're like, I am connected to my soul truth. It's a habit that you must choose in order to bring increasing amounts of that into fruition in your life. So let's look at some ways that you can connect to your unique, magical, and monumental soul truth. And again, check out that guided journey if you have not already. It's just right on the podcast. So today we're looking at soul truth in everyday life. Now, the very first thing, and this is the key of all keys for soul truth, is the first thing you have to do is to stop. Stop what we're doing. Stop looking at your phone. Stop being outside of your body, and bring your awareness within. Your soul truth is not found outside of yourself. Like I said, you can get messages from intuitives that are absolutely brilliant and they give you a puzzle piece. You can receive insights, but these are all just pieces of the puzzle. Your soul truth ultimately is within. So in order to connect to that soul truth, you have to stop being outside of your body and connect into that awareness within. So this mindful stopping is the key to disengage with old programs and habits, because once we stop, we have the opportunity to create a whole new reality, a whole new timeline, just by stopping and being like, wait, I don't want to keep moving forward on this habit, on this program, on this timeline. So I'm going to go within, because we know that that shift and that changing reality will begin within. So number one, stop. And I don't even count that as key, because that just must happen in order to stop and go within. Number one. All right, so the first way to reconnect to your soul truth I want to look at today, again, all of these happen after stopping, is to shift your perspective. So it's normal and it's natural that we live our lives and perceive from the perception of old patterns and habits. That's the way our brains work. It's, we have this default mode network in our brains, and it's called the default for a reason. It's what we're used to. And, it saves us time, because we don't have to really consider everything. It just is automatic, right? And so without ever stopping this pattern, it's just going to keep repeating and repeating and repeating. So as we stop, and then we open to a new perspective, and we ask and feel into, hey, what would another perspective be here? Maybe you visualize going above the situation and taking a look at it. Or you just kind of breathe into your heart for a moment and say, what would my heart say about this? Or you connect to your higher self. What would my higher self say about this? When we do that, in whatever way that you shift your perception, we open a whole new portal of reality to show us what is possible for us. So, shifting your perspective. Number one way to shift into your soul truth. Next way to shift into your soul truth, and again, stopping is the number one key here, so we must stop before we do any of these things. Number two is to engage your free will. So, of course, we have legions of divine support. We have angels, archangels, we have galactic guides, we have the fairies, we have earth energies, elementals, crystals, ancestors, your higher self, you name it. We have so much non-physical reality support. And many of these guides and helpers are kind of just actively waiting for your permission to help. They're at the ready to help you move through your challenges, to heal, to shift your perspective, to guide you and show you the way. But they can't intervene unless you engage your free will. Your free will is a very powerful tool. Very, very powerful tool. And when you incorporate the mindful use of this in your daily life to request assistance, allow support and healing, and let yourself feel that connection, you open up deeper to your soul truth, because the non-physical is such a huge part of who you are. When you engage this part of yourself, your soul truth opens and blooms to allow even more divine support and intervention into your reality. So when you're engaging your free will, that's when you can really turn the dial up on the amount of magic and synchronicities that you are engaging with. And it's fun. It's just fun. Ascension has enough downward energy. It has enough descent energy where we are going into the shadows and we are, healing and working with some deep stuff, that on the flip side of it, why not make it as fun and magical as possible, so that you want to keep going, right? So that you're not feeling just so overwhelmed and exhausted by the challenging parts of ascension, right? So again, anything that pulls more magic into ascension in my books is a really good thing. All right, key number 3 is to reconnect into your soul truth and become aware of your frequency. So this is another mindfulness practice, and one that happens in conjunction with stopping. All of these happen with stopping. So get an idea of your current baseline frequency. So this is an awareness, what's my current baseline frequency right now? It depends what you're working through. It depends what challenges you're going through, what cosmic energies are, coming at you. What's my baseline frequency right now? Just get a sense of it. And you don't need to specifically name it. Just get a feeling for it, right? What's my current normal? What does my frequency feel like? And then kind of feel into, what does my frequency feel like after a great meditation session or yoga or a healing session? What does that feel like? And get a sense of what you're working with energetically. And then you want to pay attention to when that frequency drops, when you notice a lot of density and restriction around you. So again, this is mindful awareness. You're developing your clair senses even deeper. You're developing a deeper connection to your awareness within. Whenever you're feeling like a shrinking or hiding what's going on, when you notice this drop in frequency, that's your signal to stop. And if you're in a place where it's safe to do so, take a few moments to disconnect from what's going on around you and connect within. So that's the stopping. Your awareness of your frequency will signal to you when it's time to stop and go within and see what soul truth is trying to get through to you that you're saying no, no, no to. So you have all this wisdom within you, and you have to actively disengage from what is to reconnect to the real truth that is within you. So this connection is likely going to lead to an awareness of an old pattern or belief system or way of thinking, or it might prompt you to shift your perspective, or it might lead to a message that's been trying to get through to you from your higher self and guides. So maybe they need to take you down with a cold, and you notice that frequency shift because it's, right there in your face. And you say, oh, wait a minute. Okay, my frequency shifted pretty dramatically here. Let me go within. Let me see what message my body, the beautiful divine intelligence of my body is trying to let me know. And then let me expand that out to ask, what is the soul truth here? So key number 3 is to pay attention to that baseline frequency. And when you notice a drop, go within. All right, there's so much energy in this soul truth. I'm just absolutely overwhelmed with joy, gratitude, and excitement to keep working with it and engaging with it in my own personal life. And I'm so excited to share more of it with you guys as well. So you can start these practices I mentioned here as a jumping off point. You can also check out that guided journey. And if you're resonating with this message, I invite you to learn more about the Ascension Alchemy container, where we're moving through some really advanced soul reconnection and recalibration to anchor into your unique ascension frequencies and soul wisdom. This is my absolute favorite work I have done to date, and as always, it is expanding in absolutely magical ways. So thank you so much for listening and for being here with me today, and have so much fun reconnecting into your soul truth.